Now, the most obvious, and this is a wonderful, we just got this, but for those of you who can see it, this is the alien reproduction vehicles that were at Norton Air Force Base. There's a big one, the papa one, and the medium size, and the mama, and the little baby one. And I forget the dimensions, like 100 feet, 50 feet, 30 feet, something like that. And these are electromagnetogravitics. And this was in 1988. There were some people who were in there that described these devices. This was sort of like a museum. These had been around for a while. Because as I mentioned, the big breakthroughs in electromagnetic research were done between the late 1800s and the mid-50s. A man named Rick Foch, who I'd worked with for years, who was a senior scientist at the Naval Research Labs, had been in the vault, it's called, and seen documents where it described that we had mastered gravity control in October 1954. That was, you know, I was born in 55. I'm no spring chicken. So since most of us have been alive, we have not needed cars, jets, rockets, trains, ships on the ocean like we see, shuttles, space shuttles, centralized utilities, oil, gas, coal, nuclear power, all of it has been obsolete since before I was born. Now, this is scandalous because we've run amok of the planet, have had untold millions of people die from poverty, starvation, oil wars, etc., all unnecessarily. If we had gotten it right between World War I and the end of World War II, we didn't. The oligarchs, the warmongers, and the fascists keep undermining human advancement. You have to understand this. So these technologies, if you look at the work of T. Townsend Brown, in the late 20s, he was doing work that was causing lifter and levitation effect. 20s. So by the time World War II ended, Hitler and some of his folks, they had some ingenious people, were working on this. And they got pretty close to gravity control. Not quite. And that was all then brought in, as I mentioned earlier, by OSS, which became the CIA, into the United States. And that was joined by the use of advanced electromagnetic weapons to track and target and down extraterrestrial spacecraft that were doing reconnaissance at our top secret nuclear and early space facilities. The reason they were is that once we detonated the atomic bomb, that not only set up a cosmic signal that was detected, it also was the hallmark that our civilization was potentially able to destroy itself, but also was on a technological curve that could project that power elsewhere in the universe to destroy other worlds. Now keep in mind there are planetary civilizations out there that are more advanced than we are that have never had a war. They don't have weapons, they have no defenses, they don't have any of that. So it is a serious problem when a civilization reaches where we have reached, where our technological capabilities have gone beyond our social and spiritual development. And that's what began to happen between the early 1900s and now, the last 100 years. But in the classified world, they began to work on this very aggressively. I will remind you that the top secret memo from T. Townsend Brown stated, T. Townsend Brown, from Wilbur Smith from Canada in '51 stated that this area of research, the modus operandi, he stated, of how the UFOs work was the most secret project in the US government, exceeding the secrecy of the development of the hydrogen bomb.